It's another Getting Real with Ashleydawn. I'm Ashleydawn, and I want to get real with you. I have just been so good, y'all. So good. And I was in my truck the other day listening to some good old 90s country music, and it just kind of hit my spirit and my soul, and I have kind of had this message for the last, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I didn't know if I wanted to share it or not, but it keeps coming back up, so I'm going to share it. So, and this is not, I am not promoting gambling at all. I know that that is a very real addiction that has destroyed lives, destroyed families, destroyed marriages, destroyed financial life. Like, listen, I do not want to glorify gambling, and that's why for a long time, for the last 3 weeks, I was like, do I share this message? Do I not share this message? So just hear my heart. I am not supporting gambling, okay? If that's something that you do, that's between you and God, no judgment. If it's something you're struggling with, definitely reach out, get help. Also, no judgment. But some things in life that certain people can do in moderation, others struggle with doing in excess and become addicted to it, and it destroys their life. And so I just want to kind of put that out there. But I do a lot of galas, and they do a lot of fun gambling, which is gambling without money. And so a lot of times it's little chips, and then at the end of the night you get tickets, and then you get to put them in like little raffle things, and a lot of times it's for charity. And so it's not necessarily, you're not losing money. I mean, you pay for your ticket, and then they give you the free play, if you will. So all that to say, I do it a lot. And one of the games that I like to play at these little galas is blackjack, and that is, you have to hit 21. The sum of your cards have to hit 21. And so you're standing there, and normally there's like, I think there's 6 people, 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 people. And the dealer is like dealing the cards, and it's one by one. And you can say, I'd like another one if you feel like your cards are too low and you don't feel like you're close enough to 21. Or you could stay if you think that you're going to go over. And some people count cards, and some people do that. And this message isn't about that. But it just got me thinking how sometimes in life, and if you watched my last video about not settling, this video will make a lot more sense. But sometimes in life, we have a list of things that we would like. I've had a list pretty much my whole life, and they're not necessarily like, a lot of people say, well, I want somebody 6'4", and I want somebody blue eyes and blonde hair, and I've never been that girl. I don't really care about tall guys, and I don't really like blonde hair or blue eyes. No offense if that's what you have, just not my type. My type is character. Does the man have integrity? Has the man ever lied to me? Can I trust this man? Does this man have integrity? Is he kind? Is he compassionate? Does he have addictions? Is he struggling with anything? And if he is he open and honest about it and sharing it to me? Or is he hiding it and pretending he doesn't have the issue? So with all that, and that's, I mean, I have like 100 things on my list. But, and I will say, my list that I have, everything on my list that I would like in a partner, I myself am trying to be right now. I am trying to be a woman without addictions. I do struggle with Coca-Cola and sodas. I am trying to be a woman that takes care of herself, that works out every day, a woman that does not lie, that does not steal, that does not cheat, that does not hide things, that does not flirt. I don't want a man that's flirting with other women or telling other women they're beautiful. I don't want to be a woman that's telling other men they're handsome or saying, flirty things. I want to be a woman of respect. I want the person that I'm with to be a man of respect. And so everything on my list, I try to model myself. So I'll put that out there too. But the whole thing is, blackjack, you stand there and all these cards are coming, and there's a chance that you could go over. There's a chance that you could be under. There's a chance that you could lose everything. And I feel like that's such a picture of relationships, because as you are waiting, as you're a single woman that's waiting, that's set apart, that isn't doing everything that everybody else is doing, that isn't, on the dating apps, it's not part of hookup culture, that's not doing all these things. This car will not go slow so that I can either get behind him, but he wouldn't go fast enough. He wouldn't go slow so I can get in front of him, but he wouldn't go fast enough so that I could get behind him. Love that. This is Driving with Ashleydawn, but the blackjack thing, okay? So you're standing there, and there is a chance you could win everything, and there's a chance you could lose everything. There's a chance that you could go over. There's a chance you could go under. There's a chance that you could stay and not get another card, and then that next card go to the person next to you and they win. Now, I'm not talking about cards. I'm talking about relationships. You could settle with something that's good enough. Somebody that checks off 50% of your boxes. Somebody that is kind, but maybe they lie to you. Somebody that you're attracted to, but maybe they have some addictions. And I'm not judging anybody. I have been there. I have had like 7 relationships in my life, and 6 or 7. 6 or 7. I think 7. Yeah, 7. I've had 7 relationships in my life, like serious relationships, like I'm your girlfriend, you're my boyfriend type relationships, like not just we went on a date a couple times or it turned into a situationship. No, I'm talking about actual relationships. I'm committed to you, you're committed to me. And so a lot of them have been almost. They checked all my boxes almost. If they had all the character traits, maybe I wasn't as physically attracted to them. Or if they had all the personality traits, maybe they weren't that funny and they weren't that goofy and they made me be serious all the time and I didn't want to be serious all the time. Or maybe when we talked, they only went so far and they wouldn't go emotionally deep with me because they were emotionally insecure or emotionally immature. There was never that, this is it. This is it. This is the man. There was never that. My whole life. My high school sweetheart was probably as close at the time to everything that I wanted, but I grew up and I matured and I became a better woman. And the more that I expected of myself, the more I expected of the partner that I wished to have. And so my standards increased as I increased, if that makes sense. There have been really very nice men in my life. Some of them might be watching this video. And if so, thank you for being nice to me. Thank you for treating me like a queen. Thank you for being a part of my life. For whatever reason, all my boxes weren't checked off, whether it was an honesty issue, whether it was an addiction issue, whether it was emotional issue, all of my boxes were never checked off before. And I struggled with that. And I struggled with, people would say, well, are you dating anybody? I'm like, I don't want to settle. I have such strong convictions about the life that I want, the woman that I am, how I want my life to go. And no, I know it's not going to be perfect. Life is hard and messy and tough. And there's things that happen without your control that you have no control over, that happen that you have to deal with. I'm not saying I'm looking for a perfect life. I'm looking for somebody that I have been looking for somebody that would get me, that would be honest with me, that, like I said, wouldn't have addictions, that I could be fully emotionally open and they could be fully emotionally open, and I could have a best friend that would build a relationship on, and I could have a confidant, somebody that I could roll ideas off of and they could roll ideas off of me, and we could build each other better and challenge each other and encourage each other emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, all the ways. And for so long, I waited and waited and waited. And in the back of my mind, the enemy was always like, well, this is good enough. This is good enough. And my soul wouldn't let me sit still. My soul would not let me ignore it. My soul was like, no, girl, this ain't it. This is not the man. Keep moving. Keep rolling. Keep going. This ain't it. And like I said, not that the gentlemen that have been in my life previously weren't nice, great guys that love the Lord. All the guys that I have previously dated have loved the Lord, outside of one. I dated one guy that really struggled with his faith. But outside of that, and that wasn't really, we weren't really in a relationship, that was a situationship. We were spending a lot of time together, but we were never really in a relationship. But all of the people I have been in a relationship with have been men that loved God. Now, they might not have gone to church every day. They may not have read their Bible every day, but they prayed every day. They kept the 10 Commandments. They did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. They honored their neighbor. They honored their parents. They took care of their kids. They showed up for their friends. Again, not looking for perfection. But there are things that you know, if you get honest with yourself and you get real with yourself. This is Getting Real with Ashleydawn. If you get real with yourself and you start going through the things that really matter to you. Do you want somebody that laughs with you? Do you want someone that can stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning and talk about their darkest situations in life with you and be vulnerable and be open and share yours, and they will listen? Do you want that? Do you want somebody that has integrity, that's respected by everybody that knows them? Do you want someone that takes life seriously? Do you want someone that's goofy? Do you want someone that works out? Do you want someone that doesn't care about the way that they look or the way their body looks? Do you want someone that takes care of their health? Do you want someone, like, what do you want? What is the life that you want? Start visualizing that. It says in the Bible that without vision, people perish. People perish for lack of vision. Get a vision for your life. Get a vision for what you want. And if you're like, well, I don't know, read the Bible. The Bible will give you a vision of purity and kindness and gentleness and respect. I know what I want. I've known what I wanted from a very, very early age. And there were times in my life when people would say, what do you want? I said, I don't know. I did know. I just hadn't seen it yet. God is so good. His timing is so, so, so good. I can't even begin to detail the details that God has shown me over the last year, especially over the last month or two, about why it never worked with everyone else. All of those chances that I was almost there. I was so close, but I didn't have that peace. I didn't have that trust. I didn't have that respect. And I could not ignore it. And it's all starting to make sense now. I'm starting to see God's hand in all of it. I'm starting to see God's plan. And I'm so grateful that I didn't stand at that blackjack table of my life and say, stop. I'm so grateful that I have waited for God to say stop. For God to show me everything that I want, everything that I have prayed for my entire life, all the details that sometimes I forget, sometimes I think, well, is that silly? Am I silly that I want that? Am I silly that I really would like that? Does that make me silly? And I second guess myself a lot. I'm an overthinker. Most of you that know me know that. I get in my head sometimes and I try to figure everything out and try to understand everything. And God's like, I just want you to trust me. When I was in my darkest season, I'm going to try not to cry. When I had just discovered the man that I married was cheating on me and had an entire double life. My hero and very best friend and the greatest man I've ever known, my dad, was diagnosed with skin cancer, and it wasn't going too well. And then I got diagnosed with pre-cancer. And I just remember laying in bed, and I was crying myself to sleep pretty much every night. And I was just praying to God, and I'm like, God, I have kept your commandments. I have loved you. I have served you. I have worked in the church. I have mentored girls. I have ministered to children. I have tried to show love to every person I have met my entire life. I followed the Lord since I was a little girl. I used to pass out boxes of love to people. I have done everything I know how to live right. Why is this happening to me? Why are all these bad things happening? Why is the man that I married cheating on me? I'm being faithful to him. Why isn't he being faithful to me? Why did he lie to me? Why is he betraying me? Why is the greatest man I've ever known that does so much good for the world and preaches to bikers and gives the clothes off of his back to strangers when they need it, why is he going through this terrible disease and cancer? Why am I having to watch him slowly die? Why did I have a spot on my back? I had a mole that I had to get cut off. That later, I've struggled with skin cancer for the last, 5 years? 4 years? No, longer than that. So the pre-cancer was like when I was married. So that was 2013. So we're talking 13 years of getting skin checks and going to the dermatologist and doing all this stuff. Why is this happening, God? And I was laying in bed. I was crying myself to sleep. And I kid you not, and I don't share this with a lot of people because a lot of people don't believe it and probably think it's crazy, but I don't really care. I felt God hold me that night. I was all alone in my bed by myself. My ex-husband was probably at a strip club, probably doing God knows what with God knows who. And I was laying in bed, just crying my eyes out, begging God to help me, begging God to make it make sense. And I felt him holding me. And as I started going to sleep, and I closed my eyes, I heard him whisper, "Do you trust me?" And I said, "Yeah, God, I trust you." And that whisper got a little louder. And it said, "Do you trust me?" And I said, "Yes, God, I trust you. I've trusted you my whole life." And it got a little bit louder. "Do you trust me?" I said, "Yes, yes, yes, I trust you." And I fell asleep. I'll never forget that moment. It was one of the sweetest moments of my entire life. And I called my daddy in the morning because I talk to him every day. And he said, "Ash, how are you?" He's the only man that ever called me Ash my whole life. And he said, "Ash, how are you?" And I said, "I had a really rough night last night." He says, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "How do you know, Daddy?" He said, "Me and your mom were up all night long. And we couldn't sleep. And we're worried about you. And all night long, we were praying for you. And we asked God to hold you because we couldn't." And immediately, right? My dad's telling me this. I'm on the phone with him. I'm in Ohio. He's in Florida. And I'm crying my eyes out. And he's like, "What? What's wrong?" And I said, "Daddy, God answered your prayer last night." And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Last night, God held me as I fell asleep. And he asked me over and over again, do I trust him?" And I told him, "Yeah." And then I got to fall asleep. And I share that to tell you, you may not know why the things in your life are happening. You may not know why the people in your life are doing the things that they're doing. You may not know why the doctor gave you the diagnosis he gave you. You may not know why he gave it to your kid or to your parent or to somebody you really, really love. You may not know why you lost that job. You may not know why you got kicked out of that house or why they sold it and turned it into an Airbnb and you had to move. You may not know why the things are happening in your life the way that they are. And trust me, I get it. All of these things I just mentioned have happened to me. Right after my daddy passed, a couple years later, the house we were living in that I had lived in for like 15 years, they sold because we rented and they turned it into an Airbnb. And in doing so, we had to move in like 2 months. And we were still grieving and we were still going through all my daddy's stuff and still really struggling with him not being there. And then I'm thinking, oh man, how are we gonna move? Moving's expensive. First, last, and security is expensive. And where I live, the rent's like $2,000 a month. First, last, and security, you're talking $6,000 to move into a place, plus U-Haul fees. I didn't have that extra money laying around. I was still paying off skin cancer surgeries. I was still paying off my dad's celebration of life. I was still paying off my car and life. And it was overwhelming. But every time I have been overwhelmed, I have given it to God, and He has been there for me. And so I just want to tell you, whatever is happening in your life, whatever you're going through, whatever you're struggling with, you are not alone. And God's asking you, do you trust Him? Do you trust that He's behind the scenes working all things out for your good and His glory? Romans 8:28. Do you trust Him? Do you trust Him? What does trust look like? Reading your Bible, praying, understanding that this world is not yours. There are things happening behind the scenes that we don't even know. But do you trust, as a child of God, that God cares enough about your heart to protect you from all of the things that if He gave you would destroy you? It's one of my biggest prayers for anybody I love. God, protect them from what they think they want, that if they got, it would destroy them. Protect them from that. Don't give it to them. Close every door that means harm to them. Only open the doors that mean blessings to them. And I pray that over myself too. God, close the doors that mean me harm. Take the people out of my life that want to hurt me. And no, life isn't perfect. People will hurt you. Doors will slam in your face. Other doors will open that you walk through that you realize once you get through them, shouldn't walk through that. There's someone really special in my life that tells me all the time, Ashleydawn, there's a hand you shake and a hand you hold. And they're very, very different. And that's true. You don't hold everybody's hand that comes into your life, and you don't shake them either. I am so blessed, and I just want to give God glory for what He's doing right now. Because I know 13 years ago, He started, and even probably before that, working all things together for my good and His glory, because I love Him, and I live my life for Him. Do not settle. Do not think, well, this is good enough. No. God did not come to give you a good enough life. God came to give you life to the full, pressed over, shaken, overflowing. He's faithful to do exceedingly, abundantly, above and beyond anything you can ask, think, or imagine. Ephesians 3:20. That's my God. Insert some CeCe Winans in there. That's my God. That's my King. I love CeCe Winans. In those moments when you want to settle, when you want to give up, when you want to throw in the towel, don't do it. You'll regret it. I promise you, you will regret it. Instead, wait. Trust God. He's working it all out for you. You are not alone. Listen to me. If you're struggling right now and you're like, Ashleydawn, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life. God does. And that's all you need to know. God loves you. He is for you. He sees you. He celebrates you. His banner over you is love. He hears your prayers late at night. He hears your parents' prayers late at night. He is working all things together for your good and His glory. Don't lose trust in Him. Don't give up. Don't do it. God has so much for you. He has so much love, more love than you could even dream of. That heart that you've had since you were a child that just wants a love story like your parents, you'll have it. Don't give up and don't settle. God has so much for you. You can't even imagine. You can't even imagine everything that God has for you. But one day, when He hand delivers it with a bow, you'll shake your head and thank Him. I love you. More importantly, God loves you. You are seen, celebrated, loved. I'll catch you in the next one.